Welcome to the Coins Quest, your ultimate destination where hidden treasures in your pocket change come to life. And every cent has a story worth more than gold itself. And today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of one of America's most mysterious, surprising, and shockingly valuable coins, the 1964 no-mint Mark 1 cent USA coin. A humble Lincoln wheat penny that has taken the coin collecting community by storm, not because of its metal or age alone, but because of its incredible errors, mind-bending mistakes, and one-in-a-million minting anomalies that have made some examples worth as much as $861,000. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny fetching nearly $1 million, transforming ordinary pocket change into a fortune. And as we explore the depths of what makes this small copper coin such a powerful magnet for collectors, historians, and treasure hunters, you'll understand how a simple cent from 1964 became a cornerstone of American numismatic fascination. The story begins with context, because 1964 was a year of transition in U.S. minting history, marked by huge production runs, shifts in minting locations, and the end of silver coinage, which led to widespread experimentation and variations, some of which went unnoticed until decades later. And that's exactly where our rare 1964 no-mint Mark penny fits in, carrying secrets that only the trained eyes of dedicated collectors can see. Most 1964 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, hence the absence of a mint mark, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco, but only those struck in Philadelphia were supposed to have the smooth, error-free finish we associate with mass production, yet in reality, many slipped through the cracks with striking defects that have since become legends in the coin world. One of the most valuable errors found in the 1964 no-mint Mark penny is the double die obverse, where the coin shows distinct doubling on Lincoln's profile, particularly on his eyes, lips, and the motto, "In God We Trust," giving it a ghostly appearance under magnification. And this specific variety, when crisp and well-preserved, has been known to sell for thousands, but when combined with other anomalies like off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet flaws, the value can skyrocket beyond imagination. Another key reason behind its sky-high valuation lies in the minting process itself, because 1964 was one of the last years before major design transitions in U.S. coins, and the mint was running under pressure to meet enormous production quotas due to the coin shortage crisis of the early 1960s, leading to worn-out dies being used far longer than normal, creating all sorts of interesting visual effects like die breaks, often appearing as raised lines or blobs on the coin's surface, cuds, missing metal where part of the die broke off, and machine doubling, a shifting, shadow-like doubling caused by loose equipment, each of which gives the coin an individual fingerprint of history, making no two era pennies exactly the same. In some extreme cases, the 1964 no-mint Mark penny was struck on the wrong planchet altogether, meaning instead of the standard copper composition, it was accidentally struck on a foreign coin blank, or even on leftover 1963 planchets, resulting in weight discrepancies and color variations that numismatists quickly identify as signs of something extraordinary. And when authenticated by grading authorities like PCGS or NGC, such pieces have commanded unbelievable prices at auctions, sometimes exceeding $861,000 when in pristine condition and with a combination of multiple errors. Imagine finding one of these in a jar of old change or an inherited collection. What looks like a regular cent could actually hold the power to change your life. But what makes it even more intriguing is the sheer number of variations this coin can exhibit, from broad strikes, where the rim disappears due to the absence of a collar during minting, to off-metal strikes, where the coin is pressed onto an entirely different metal blank, to misaligned dies that leave Lincoln's portrait slightly tilted or shifted. Collectors often hunt for the smallest signs, tiny cracks running through Liberty, doubling on the date, 1964, or the faint outline of extra design elements that shouldn't exist, and these minute imperfections are what separate a common penny worth 1 cent from a legendary treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. But to truly appreciate the allure of the 1964 no-mint Mark penny, one must understand how scarcity and condition interact. The majority of these coins circulated heavily, losing luster and sharpness, yet those few that survived in uncirculated or proof-like condition, combined with rare errors, have become numismatic miracles, gleaming reminders of how the tiniest minting mistakes can transform a simple copper coin into an artifact of immense historical and financial value. Some of these coins were discovered decades later by casual collectors or metal detector hobbyists, their reddish-brown patina hiding the faint doubling or cracks that would later cause experts to gasp in disbelief. Stories abound of lucky finds, someone emptying their grandfather's coin box and stumbling upon a 1964 penny with a double die obverse sold for tens of thousands at auction, or a coin dealer uncovering a misstruck planchet variety during appraisal that went on to fetch over $861,000 due to its impeccable preservation and dramatic mint-era combination. The reason this particular coin captures so much fascination is because 1964 was a pivotal year for American minting, marking the end of the wheat penny legacy and the dawn of modern mint techniques. Yet amidst technological progress, human and mechanical flaws still found their way into the system, leaving behind these beautiful mistakes that tell stories of imperfection, urgency, and history. When you hold a 1964 no-mint mark penny, you're not just holding a piece of metal, you're holding the product of American craftsmanship, labor, and the occasional oversight that birthed treasures in disguise. And for collectors, this coin embodies the spirit of numismatics itself, the relentless pursuit of hidden beauty and value in the ordinary. Advanced collectors often study die varieties catalogued under listings like FS101 or FS102 for the 1964 penny, searching for precise markers that indicate doubled lettering or repunched elements, while others focus on planchet quality, color tone, and strike strength, all of which influence grading outcomes and ultimately the market value. For instance, a 1964 penny with a distinct die clash, where designs from both sides of the coin appear faintly on the opposite side due to die misalignment, is extremely rare and commands premium value, especially when preserved in mint state condition, while other errors like a clipped planchet, where a small portion of the coin's edge is missing, can also fetch surprising prices depending on rarity and visibility. What's truly mesmerizing is how each of these flaws becomes a fingerprint of time, proof of the mint's human side, and the fact that these coins survived decades without being melted, lost, or damaged beyond recognition makes them even more valuable. Experts agree that part of the 1964 penny's allure lies in its historical context. It was minted during the final stretch of the Lincoln Memorial design's dominance and before widespread coinage composition changes, making any anomaly from that era more desirable. Moreover, collectors recognize that the Philadelphia Mint, which produced these no-mint mark coins, often left fewer detailed production records, leading to mysteries still being uncovered today as new varieties emerge under microscopes in collectors' homes worldwide. And beyond the errors, there's the emotional and cultural value. Many Americans remember these pennies from childhood, from candy store counters and school days, and owning one today, especially an era coin, feels like reclaiming a tangible piece of mid-20th century America. The market for rare 1964 pennies has exploded online, with collectors bidding fiercely for top-graded examples, and experts caution that authentication is crucial, as the line between genuine mint error and post-mint damage is fine. A small misjudgment could mean the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and one worth $861,000. Grading agencies look for clear, unambiguous signs of mint-originated flaws, doubling caused by die shifts, not movement after striking, cracks formed from die stress, not scratches from circulation, and once verified, these coins become certified treasures. Another factor boosting the coin's legendary value is the collector psychology itself. The dream of discovering a hidden fortune in plain sight drives countless enthusiasts to inspect every penny they come across, and the 1964 no-mint mark penny stands as one of the most exciting possibilities. Its reddish copper hue, its classic Lincoln Memorial reverse, and that simple, unmarked obverse hold within them the potential of extraordinary wealth and historical significance. As time passes, fewer of these coins remain in pristine shape, and the market only grows more competitive, turning these small copper discs into relics of immense rarity and pride. Whether you're a seasoned collector with years of experience, or someone who just emptied their change jar and noticed something peculiar about the date, The 1964 no-mint mark penny invites you to look closer, to question, to investigate, because in the world of coin collecting, the smallest details can yield the largest rewards. So when you hear stories of 1964 pennies selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars, remember that behind those price tags lies a blend of history, chance, and craftsmanship, a perfect storm of minting imperfection that turned an everyday object into a collector's dream. From its double dies and die cracks to off-center strikes and clipped planchets, each era tells a story of how the U.S. Mint's massive operations sometimes produced accidental masterpieces. And as collectors continue to hunt, study, and cherish these coins, the legend of the 1964 no-mint mark 1 cent continues to grow, inspiring generations to search their pockets with new excitement, because who knows, your next penny might just be worth $861,000. A small, shiny ticket to numismatic fame and fortune, reminding us all that in the coin's quest, every coin counts. And every cent could hold a secret fortune waiting to be found. Next, 1971 no-mint mark 1 cent coin, a coin that at first glance seems completely ordinary, yet beneath its simple copper surface lies a mystery. A series of minting errors and historical oddities that have transformed select examples into jaw-dropping treasures worth as much as $606,000. Yes, it's true, this small Lincoln cent, struck over half a century ago, has become one of the most talked about coins among serious collectors, not because it was made of precious metal, but because of the fascinating mint mistakes and production quirks that make it both a symbol of imperfection and a testament to the magic of the U.S. Mint's hidden errors. To understand why this coin has reached such heights of desirability and value, we have to travel back to 1971, a year when the United States Mint was dealing with an enormous demand for circulating coins, as the economy boomed and inflation began to creep in, leading to massive production runs at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The 1971 penny struck in Philadelphia bore no mint mark, and because of the sheer scale of production, countless dies were used, reused, and sometimes misaligned, leading to a series of dramatic and subtle errors that collectors today consider absolute treasures. Some of these errors were so visually striking that they almost seemed deliberate, while others were nearly invisible to the naked eye, requiring a magnifying glass or microscope to fully appreciate the anomalies that turned an everyday coin into a numismatic gem. One of the most famous and valuable varieties of the 1971 no-mint mark penny is the double die averse, where you can clearly see doubling in Lincoln's eyes, nose, mouth, and particularly in the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," as well as on the date itself. The doubling effect was caused by a slight shift during the hubbing process, where the die receives multiple impressions of the design, and when those impressions are misaligned by even a fraction of a millimeter, it creates a ghostly, shadowed image that collectors recognize instantly as a doubled die. This specific type of error has always been among the most prized in coin collecting, and in the case of the 1971 penny, it's among the sharpest and most dramatic of all, leading to the coin's market price soaring into the hundreds of thousands when found in pristine, mint state condition. But that's not the only kind of error that makes the 1971 no-mint mark penny so valuable. There are also off-center strikes, where the coin's design is shifted significantly to one side, revealing a crescent of blank planchet that gives it a unique and unmistakable look, often fetching thousands depending on the degree of off-centering. Even more fascinating are the examples struck on the wrong planchet. Sometimes a 1971 penny was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a dime, creating a thinner and lighter coin with a silvery appearance, or on foreign planchets that the mint was producing for other nations at the time. These off-metal strikes are exceptionally rare, and when authenticated, can easily bring 5- or 6-figure prices, as they combine rarity, visual uniqueness, and historical intrigue. Another type of valuable error involves die cracks, tiny raised lines running across the coin's surface, formed when the minting dies themselves began to fracture from overuse or pressure. On some 1971 pennies, these cracks form dramatic shapes, including patterns through Lincoln's face or lettering, sometimes referred to by collectors as lightning strike or spiderweb cracks due to their appearance. These are not just curiosities. They're snapshots of the minting process under stress, pieces of history that carry the fingerprint of the machinery that made them. A 1971 penny showing a combination of a doubled die and dramatic die cracks is almost priceless, often reaching auction prices approaching or exceeding the $606,000 mark, especially if found in near-perfect red or red-brown mint state condition. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced these no-mint mark coins, was known for high-speed operations during that era, and as the dies wore down faster than they could be replaced, multiple anomalies emerged, from weak strikes that left Lincoln's hair details soft and faint to die clashes where faint outlines of the Lincoln Memorial appear on the obverse side due to dies striking each other without a planchet in between. Each of these peculiarities adds another layer of fascination and value, making the 1971 no-mint mark penny one of the most collectible coins of its decade. And yet, the real excitement lies in the fact that millions of 1971 pennies are still out there in drawers, jars, and old rolls, waiting to be rediscovered by those patient enough to look closely. The difference between a 1-cent coin and a $606,000 treasure can literally come down to a small doubling on a word, or a hairline crack invisible to the casual eye. The hunt for these era coins has become a modern-day gold rush among coin enthusiasts, each collector hoping to find the next great discovery, a coin with the right combination of rarity, condition, and era type to change their fortunes overnight. What makes the 1971 no-mint mark penny particularly alluring is that it belongs to a transitional period in American minting. It's still made of the pre-1982 copper composition, a solid 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy, giving it a rich reddish tone that develops beautiful patina over time, and because copper is more reactive than later zinc-based cents. Each coin ages differently, creating unique tones that further distinguish one from another. Combined with mint errors, this natural coloration gives certain coins almost artistic beauty, turning them into miniature works of metallic art that collectors can't resist. The emotional connection to this coin is also strong. For many Americans, the 1971 penny evokes a sense of nostalgia, a time when every cent still held tangible value, and now, that very coin could be worth a fortune, making it both a financial and sentimental relic. Auction houses have witnessed intense bidding wars for these era coins, especially those certified by PCGS or NGC as genuine double-die varieties, with the highest graded examples breaking records that once seemed impossible for a penny. The coin's legend has only grown as collectors share stories of unexpected discoveries, someone sorting through old coffee cans or inherited coin boxes finding a double-die specimen worth more than an entire year's salary. These real-life stories fuel the excitement and inspire new generations of treasure hunters to pick up a magnifying glass and start searching their own change. But the magic of the 1971 no-mint mark penny lies not just in its market value, but in what it represents: the enduring human fascination with rarity, error, and the unexpected beauty of imperfection. It shows how a simple production mistake, something unintended and overlooked, can transform into a collector's dream, a tangible reminder that even in mass production, true uniqueness can emerge by accident. It's that unpredictability, that possibility of finding greatness in the ordinary, that drives the coins quest community and collectors worldwide. The next time you come across a 1971 penny with no mint mark, look at it carefully, check for the subtle doubling on the date, the words, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." Examine the edges for signs of clipping or misalignment, and study Lincoln's features under bright light. If you see any unusual patterns, cracks, or doubling, you might just be holding one of the most valuable era coins in U.S. history. The combination of historical context, minting pressure, material composition, and mechanical imperfection created the perfect storm that birthed these rare treasures, and that's why they continue to be hunted, studied, and cherished by collectors. As the years pass and fewer of these coins remain in pristine condition, their value only climbs higher, ensuring that the legend of the 1971 no-mint mark penny will continue to grow for generations to come. So keep searching, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of a single cent, because in this incredible world of coin collecting, even the smallest coin can hide the biggest fortune, and one day, You might just be the next lucky collector to find a 1971 penny worth $606,000 shining quietly in the palm of your hand. A tiny piece of history, a copper miracle, and a symbol of why the coin's quest never ends.